Hello everyone, it's your girl Lala and I'm back with another video. So today I'm going to do a review slash recap on Ladies Who List Atlanta. This is season 1, episode 5 that just aired. So tonight's episode starts off with basically picking up where the conversation from last week with Robin and Crystal. So last week we got to see a short glimpse, and this week is where the episode picks up with this conversation. So there's a few things in this conversation that just kind of irritated me, and I just like can't take. So Robin and Crystal, they have the well, they start to have the conversation, and so, Robin is explaining, what, her feelings regarding the whole interaction. And then Crystal proceeds to tell her, well, I was hurt too. And so Crystal says she was hurt because Robin hit her hand. I just cannot take Crystal. I can't. I'm going to continue before I just like drag her a bit. But anyway, so that goes on for a bit. They're just going like back and forth about their feelings on it. At one point, Robin does try to just basically say, like, let's just leave the conversation. It's not the time and place and things like that. Now, Kiana had already told them to take their conversation out to the courtyard, which I don't blame Kiana. This was Kiana's anniversary event for her business. And once again, here we are having these conversations we should not be having in establishments, but I guess it's good for TV. But anywho, at least they did not. It did not go left. It did not get crazy. They did take their conversation out to the courtyard as Kiana requested, which was great. And it didn't. What I did like though out of this was that it didn't get crazy. It didn't get just like where they were irate and all this other stuff. They had somewhat of a mature conversation. So I was glad about that. Um, it didn't really, I mean, to me it really didn't go anywhere. I think that Crystal still didn't see Robin's point, and I mean I think that Crystal was the one in this situation who was wrong. So I feel like I'm with Robin. Like I felt like you should have been calling me. I was the one that was in the situation and didn't have a friend there to help me. So I'm mad at you. But Crystal turned that around like what basically like, well, I'm mad and I'm hurt too because you hit my hand. And like Robin kept saying, well, how did you end up on that side anyway? And it's just like like I just can't with Crystal. And even in that same episode with them, Robin is Robin says to Crystal, like, well, you knew these women had an issue with me, and like you didn't give me a heads up, anything like as a friend. Crystal blatantly lies and tries to say that she didn't know until that night. Well, of course, production showed the clip where before that event transpired, Crystal had a conversation with Kiana, who told her about the whole contract situation, and everything. So she knew this. Like she knew this going in already that two of these ladies had an issue with Robin. So once again, I just can't take the sneaky, the shadiness, just all of it with Crystal. I just can't. So so then we move on to Robin shows up at her client's home, Amy and Mozzie. She was their realtor for the property they showed that they had just purchased. Amy's a YouTube star, doing quite well, as you can see, judging by the lifestyle she's been able to obtain from YouTube. And so they're basically just, catching up and, everything. Now, I was kind of like, what the hell? Because Robin sits on the countertop, and I'm just like, Robin, I'm gonna need you to have some level of professionalism. But hey, I guess Robin is gonna be Robin, and her clients don't seem to mind it at all. Later on, Amy even joins her on the countertop as well. So hey, whatever. Um, it was kind of interesting during that episode. It was a short. I'm sorry, during that scene, which was a pretty short scene. Um, Robin takes a phone call, and it's a phone call from her like sisters and her mom and her niece. It turns out that it's like close to Robin's birthday, so they're like giving her a phone call, and I'm just like, girl, you want to sit here and take this whole call with your client sitting right here? But once again, I mean, it just seems like it's all. it becomes a friendship kind of relationship when you buy a home for Robin. And then, I mean, obviously it's that way because Mozzie even gets on to the, he even comes and says, "Can I say hi to mom?" And next thing you know, he's on there talking about all of Robin's family heads. I said, not him saying that they all have the same head and the roundness and everything else. I'm like, sir, you were just supposed to say hello and keep it moving. So then we get over to Tiana and her client, which was a son, son and a mom. Her mom was a mom who is a architect slash builder, black woman. I'm loving this. These are the things I do love to see. I love to see when they are showing us in the business aspects on here. So I was definitely loving to just, to just get that glimpse of her, to see her on the show, to put a face to a woman who is in an industry as such as a builder and an architect. So that was great to see. Now, they did play games with us because they done played the music and all. When the son came in to see the house and Tiana is telling them about the home, and the son is looking like, what in the heck is this that I'm looking at? And so you start to think that the son hates the home, and then next thing you know, he's like, I love it. I'm like, okay, y'all play too much because y'all definitely was trying to lead us down a road that this man hated the house, okay? But anywho, and then after that, we go on and we see Tiffany and Tiana. That scene opens up with them having a play date with their kids, playing some soccer, which, it was a small glimpse, but it was definitely great to see just a little bit of that family interaction they put on there. And, just their little girlfriend, little Kiki moment that they had on there as well. Like I say, I am really a fan of Tiffany and Tiana. I love their sisterhood friendship. I love how they interact with each other. So I'm definitely here for these two as friends. They're the only ones on the show that I feel like really act as friends. I don't know. Maybe it's because they might be the only ones that are friends. I'm not sure, but I do love them. Um, you know, their friendship. Okay, moving on. So now Robin and Crystal once again another meetup for these two. So Crystal comes in with this gorgeous arrangement for Robin, which was very pretty. I'm going to need my girlfriends to step their game up because ain't none of them bringing me to arrangements like that. But anywho, so she shows up the arrangement for Robin, and Robin's thankful and everything, and she takes it, and so they start a conversation. And now in this conversation, here we go. Crystal once again has the poly conversation that she had the other week about a guy that she's seeing who I guess wants to live a polyamorous life. And basically, it seems like he is like really trying to get her sold on this. Like he's trying to sell her on this. And so Crystal is now talking to Robin about it and trying to, I guess, get Robin's feedback on this whole thing. And Robin is kind of like not here for it. She's just kind of like, so what, it's like a threesome, like. And Crystal's like, well, no, it's like really not, because guess like it's not the people at the same time, it's just these different relationships taking place at the same time. Then she turns around and she invites Robin to the same poly party that she invited Kara to. I'm like, did you just invite Kara to this poly party? So I don't know. I'm assuming Kira must have turned it down because I hope that she's not shady enough to have really invited Kira and Robin to both come and actually be at this poly party. But who knows? Because as shady as Crystal is, I wouldn't put it past her. But anyway, um, and it's interesting to me that Crystal is so like into entertaining this whole thing with this Polly, because it doesn't really seem like this is something that she's interested in, or that something this is that she has thought about herself at one point. It seems like whoever she's dealing with, this guy, he has put this in her head and this is something that he wants, and so she's entertaining it because this is something that she wants, which kind of just feels like almost like one of those situations where it's like, you are doing something to appease a man, to appease his wants and things like that. And I mean, to each their own. If anyone is poly, that's what they want to do. hey, that's their business. But my thing is that let it be for you. Let it be what you desire, what you want, and not to get this particular man or anything else. So, anywho, Robin doesn't seem like she's on board with that. It seems like a little bit of a no for Robin going to this poly party, but who knows? So after they move along from the whole poly, conversation, they then get into the conversation of Tiffany. Robin brings up Tiffany, and Crystal's response is kind of like weird. Shady is basically what it was because she then like Tiffany who as if she didn't know. I'm pretty sure she knew who it was that Robin had, in mind who she was speaking of. But Crystal being as shady as she is, she tried to make it seem as if like, who, whatever. And so, in this conversation, Robin kind of asked her, like, what's up with you and Tiffany? Like, what's the, is there an issue? And if it is, like, what's the issue? And Crystal says, she doesn't have an issue with Tiffany, but she also like, kind of makes comments as if like Tiffany is, a user, by her comment of like, well, Tiffany aligns herself with people that I think she says she needs or can get something from or something like that. Which is interesting that Crystal even made that comment because you have already said that you don't know Tiffany. So if you don't know Tiffany, how are you able to make that type of comment? So you don't know her, she's not on your radar, et cetera, but you make a comment about her. So it's kind of like Crystal, like, come on. And then furthermore, she just goes on to even make the comment, I believe, that like Tiffany isn't that friendly, or whatever. And it's like you definitely know that there's something there, but Crystal is not giving a reason or saying she's kind of putting it on Tiffany. But the thing is that I've never heard Tiffany make any comments about Crystal. I've only heard Crystal make comments about Tiffany. So I mean, I take it to look as if, Crystal actually has the problem with Tiffany, and I don't see Tiffany having a problem with Crystal. I really don't. Now, as it goes on in this conversation, Robin does try to get Crystal to like reach out to Tiffany or whatever. She's like something about, oh, just reach out and say hello or, whatever, something like that or whatever. But I think Robin called it as to what the issue was because, Robin said, I don't think Tiffany has an issue with Crystal. I think Crystal does have an issue with Tiffany. And I think the issue is that Tiffany has everything that Crystal wants. And I can see that. Like I can see that. I really can. I mean, initially I was thinking like, well, is this something because like they're both closing attorneys, they're black women, and it's like that whole competitive competition thing that sometimes, gets put us, gets put upon us black women sometimes, when we're in the same industry and, things like that. But I'm not seeing that on Tiffany's end at all. Like I said, Tiffany, I have not seen make comments about Crystal. It always seems to be the other way around. Um, so I definitely, think that Robin is onto something with, her comment that the issue lies with Crystal. Like Crystal seems so pressed when Tiffany's name comes up, and it's not the other way around. Like Tiffany is not like thinking about, Crystal. And, what I gather with Tiffany's personality as well is Tiffany is very, it seems to me that she's the type of person that she's not into the drama. She doesn't have time for it. She's not entertaining it. And she seems like that type of person that's like either I vibe with you or I don't. Like, she doesn't seem to be petty and things like that. But I think it's something about Crystal that turns her off. And I can absolutely see why there would be. So, and I just think that Tiffany's not a fake person. I think she is a genuine person. And a lot of times, if you have a genuineness about you, especially when it comes to friendship, you're not entertaining, somebody that's on some like shady BS. Like you ain't got time for it. And I totally get it. I totally get it. So now we get to the horse riding part with it was Robin, Kiana, Tiana. and Tiffany, all the Libras in a group that got together and they're doing like a horse riding event as a little celebration for their birthday. Um, it was cute that the ranchers were black. I was like, okay, I'm here for it. It was cute to see the ranchers were black. I'm sure I don't know how common that is. I mean, maybe it is, but I wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, so Kiana, of course, shows up with a pair of black stiletto boots on, and I'm like, girl, I can't. But you know what? At the same time, I so can. She's just too damn fabulous. Like she couldn't even go horseback riding, in a pair of flat boots or anything. She had to come with her stilettos on. So and I liked her little like cowgirl outfit. I mean, she looked like she was like about to do some like little cowgirl type of like video or something. I mean, it was really cute. Kiana always comes to slay. I I actually love that aspect of the show of her. That's something that she gives us. Like she gives us, some styles and some hair. That's what she's gonna give, and I love it. And I mean, and not to mention, she is also incredible at what she does, the businesses she started, and things like that, which also leads to another comment about she made a comment in regard to, well, you know what? We'll talk later. At the end of this, I'll get into that part. But anyway, we're going to get back to the horse riding scene. So now at this point, they've all ridden their horses, which some of them had more fun on it than others. Okay. But anyway, so we're now at the end of the horse riding, and they're now having a conversation. And Robin is asking Tiffany, about, possibly reaching out to Crystal or whatever, which I'm kind of over. Like, I don't like how Robin is getting in the middle of this and is trying to form or make them form some type of like friendship or, something. If you want to be friends with Tiffany, that is fine. You do not have to have Crystal on board to be Tiffany's friend as well. Tiffany and Robin connected and they're vibing, and it doesn't mean that Crystal has to be a part of it. You can have friends that are not friends with other people. It's nothing wrong with that at all. So these parts were getting a little irritating. Like you guys are all grown women. Why are we like trying to make these friendship connections? Like why? So anyway, in this conversation, once again, Robin is trying to do the same thing she did one on one with Crystal. She was trying to pitch Tiffany as a friend, and then one on one with Tiffany trying to pitch Crystal as a friend. And it's just like, come on. But Tiffany's not here for it. Tiffany done said, listen, she like, look, I'm booked, I'm busy. I'm not taking applications for no new friendship. Like, I'm not. And I love Tiffany. I really do. I do because it's like she's no nonsense. And it's just like and she's not doing it in a catty way to me and not in a shady way to me. I think it's just like, listen, like I'm not here for it. I don't vibe with you and I'm not here for it. And I get that. I get that. I really do. So I was like really cracking up, with the whole thing with Tiffany because it was just like Robin just kept trying to pitch it and Tiffany was just like I don't know how many ways to tell you basically, but listen, I'm not here for it. I don't want to be friends with your friend. Like, stop already. And I hope, and I wish Robin would stop. But in this conversation, because Tiffany makes the comment about, her life is full. Like she got the kids, she has business and things like that, like she doesn't have time. So Robin, she kind of agrees and, kind of like, co-signs it. And, she's like, yeah, sometimes, people without like women without children don't understand. And oh Lord, why she say that? Because Kiana, whoa, that sparked it. That just hit Kiana the wrong way. Now, I do understand Kiana's position on this because being a woman that doesn't have children and having a lot of friends and like friends and things that have children, there is that comment that's thrown out a lot. There's a comment that comment of, oh well, you don't have children, so you don't understand, or well, you don't have no kids, so that comment gets thrown a lot around a lot. And depending on what someone is with that, you know, you don't know what you might be sparking. And in this instance, for Kiana, it really sparked badly and hit such a nerve because she's trying to go through the IVF process. Like she's trying to have a child. So that I think comment, while it was innocent in a sense on Robin's end, it hit pretty hard. Now, I do think that Kiana kind of might have could have you know, just kind of, pull back from the anger a little bit on it because it wasn't that deep. But at the same token, like if you're going through that journey and to hear that, you hear that differently. So I can definitely understand her reaction. And Robin didn't help it any in this instance because Robin didn't pull back. Like Robin continued. Now she did say, like, I'm not even talking about you, I'm talking about Crystal. However, Kiana was stuck on the part of what she heard was women who don't have kids. And she's a woman without kids. So that just, that's all she heard, and that's what did it. So, I mean, I see both sides. I see the innocence in a sense of the comment that Robin was making, just to kind of say like, sometimes when without children, because I'm assuming her comment is supposed to be like because they have a bit more freedom in a sense that they have more time with certain things than like a woman with child and all with children and all these responsibilities in regards to like you gotta juggle so much with being a mom and this and that. So I do understand kind of what Robin was saying, but I also get like Kiana on how she took it in regards to like, it's such a generalization to make, and it kind of sometimes it like minimize a woman's life who doesn't have children versus a woman's life who does have children. So I definitely get that. Um, but overall, I was glad to see a lot more real estate this time around. Oh, forgot we had B Simone. Yes, so we had Kira. We had the scene where Kira is showing B Simone a house, which was amazing. I love that house that Kira showed B Simone, and by the room, and the footage and things like that that B Simone look, it seems like she wants. It seems like she needs to get away of that whole condo idea because it doesn't seem like a condo is going to suit her needs because it's always too small and something's always wrong with these condos for her because it seems like she just needs more space. And that house that she showed her was amazing. Like that, it was amazing. Um, but once again, we got three scenes of of them getting into the real estate part. So that was good to see. Was it a whole lot or in depth? It wasn't, but it at least provided more than just the drama that's going on in the show. And it did show you, some level of real estate. And then I love that, they brought, the architect, builder on. So I love that they just showed her, brought her on, and just that even showing the properties because it's showing you what we are buying, and so that's good to see. So I definitely did like to see a bit more of the real estate. I know that I've seen things that people were complaining about. It's not enough real estate, and something about the last, I believe, 3 episodes are going to focus a lot more on real estate. It's supposed to be the plan. So I guess this episode going forward, we are going to get a bit more of the actual real estate part than we've been getting. Now, back to Kiana. I watched a video on Kimpire's channel with Kiana, and Kiana, she told everyone that she will not be returning for another season. So yeah, so Kiana, she has decided that she's done with the show. She doesn't like the highlights that the show is giving her in regards to, the cattiness and things like that. She was under the impression that the show would be focusing on the businesses that she has and the amazing things that she's doing. And but she feels as though that it was basically a bait and switch. with the show in regards to what was presented to her as the show's focal point and what the show was about versus what the show actually turned out to be. So she has made statements that she will not be returning. And hey, I mean, I can't blame her in a sense because if your idea was to come onto a show and to promote, your business, and you were thinking that this show was going to help you with your business, and you see that it's not, and that it actually, in a sense, possibly can be hurting your business, because the thing is that if she's only going to be associated or be involved in drama with the show, and her main goal for it was her business, then I can definitely see why she would feel the way she does. Because, at the end of the day, like she said, I mean, she didn't come out and say this, but my interpretation of something she said was more like, you know, if I can, make more money off of the show, and the show is going to hurt, my potential money, or hurt the money that I currently make, why would I continue on? Like if it's not going to help me, but can possibly, like hurt me or whatever. So I definitely get where she's going with that. And Kiana, it seems like she feels like, listen, I've worked hard to build a brand and to be a professional businesswoman and to be taken seriously. And I get it. And one thing that I love that she said was, she said it took a long time to get to a point where people were willing to buy these $1 million homes from her. You know, she's like, yeah, people were buying their first, their starter homes at 100,000, 200,000, but when it got to these $1 million homes, they weren't checking for her. They weren't checking for like a black woman realtor. That's not who they were checking for. So she also feels, I guess, like, why would I want to taint that? Why would I want to, interfere with that outlook, because already it's an issue of like, them maybe not thinking that we are professional enough or knowledgeable enough or things like that. And so why give more fuel to that way of thinking by, continuing to do this type of show. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely get where she's coming from, and I definitely get what she's saying, especially from she went into great detail. Hey, you guys might want to run over to Kim Pyre's page and look at her interview on it if you want the full interview and to fully hear what she said. But she made a lot of sense with it, and I definitely understood her point of view. And from what she kind of presented, it was like a real bait and switch. And if that's the case, hey, I can't blame her. I can't blame her. But once again, it looks like from this past episode, we'll be getting more of the real estate stuff, which is really great. I do hope they dive a little more into it with the real estate stuff, like a little deeper. I mean, we are getting the surface stuff. I would like for them to go a little deeper into it, but we don't know. I mean, it's also, I mean, we have to also kind of be realistic that it also still is a reality show, so there is going to be that level of drama, but I think that the whole gripe though is like, okay, yeah, we expect some of the drama, but let it be more real estate than drama. Like let it be real estate and then the drama thrown in there, not a whole bunch of drama with a little pieces and sprinkles of real estate. So I definitely can understand and get that point of view. So guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments about about this past episode, as well as Kiana with her decision to leave the show and how her thoughts are and what she feels about it. So guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, toodles.